So you could say hip hop is gone, but is it really gone? There's news out there, there's reports out there. They're not looking for rappers. Look at what rappers turned into. It's nothing that you should follow or listen to if you don't want to, but what's being shown is not necessarily progressive. So where does that leave hip hop? Not dead. No, what's dead is gangster rap. What's dead is all the different forms of trap. This is what they're talking about. And what's dead is, other forms of hip hop of the past. Like, you're not going to really hear boom bap getting love, even if new school artists drop boom bap. That died off in the early 2000s, just before 2000 hit. That was the end of the boom bap. And then consciousness, the end of consciousness was the early 90s. The early 90s was the end of conscious. So you check out your creators and see what's being talked about by content creators far and wide regarding the state that hip hop is in, because this is deeply connected to free speech and deeply connected to how you're handling the freedom of your speech. Now, if you're trying to tear people down, don't be surprised that any kind of karmic imprisonments that may follow what is supposed to represent free speech for you. And on the other hand, if all that you say is to liberate and to harm none, and they can see it in your presence, they can hear it in your tone, they can feel it in your demeanor, they can see it in the consistency of what you create, then you'll see liberties on top of liberties. Your freedom of speech will become even more free. See, the system is put in place. It works like janitors. If you're trying to tear something down, then the system will be there to tear you down. If you're there to uplift something, then if you're paying attention to the nuances of how that upliftment goes, you'll find the system giving you a helping hand and supporting you, because the system is exactly what it is. It's not human. It's machine learning. It's momentum. It's software. We are the hardware. The software is what we're interfacing with. Enter the face of, to see it from the software's point of view. And then you would see a program getting stale because it's pumping out only one kind of entertainment. All these other windows are not being used. All these other files, all these other apps, all these other programs, all these other perspectives are going unused. A lot of unnecessary gig space is left wide open. And there's a lot of gig space there's a lot of RAM, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of CPU, there's a lot of processing power, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of mentality just being used and siphoned up by energy drains. When they don't know that what they're looking for is this. They don't know that what they're looking for is super T Sigma. They don't know this yet. This is why it's super T. That's why it's Sigma programming, super T Sigma, Sigma programming. Because again, Sigma is a part of the Greek alphabet and the order of hierarchy that stands aside from the triangular hierarchy. I am not an alpha. I am not a beta. I'm not an omega. I'm not a theta. I'm not even a frat brother. I'm not even involved in any kind of organization. But I want to organize this and say that because I'm choosing to stand aside from the hierarchy and I only listen to current stuff just to make sure that my stuff is different, just to make sure that I'm not sounding similar to what's out there, just to make sure that I'm doing my own thing authentically, organically. This is going to create its own triangle underneath it. So it'll be from the top down, reverse triangle. You could say the man who runs it will hold the people up versus the other triangle that we're used to, where it's just one person at the top getting rich and everybody in the pyramid down has to support that one person at the top. This is the opposite. One person at the bottom is going to hold and uplift all who come under his or her umbrella. This is the Sigma way. We're doing our own thing. We're marching to the beat of our own drum. Our imaginations still work. We still know how to interpret information, reconcile. We don't have to run to Google for everything that's on our mind. Google is waiting for us to put something in. That's why the Google pages have slowed down. That's why you don't find stuff, because more people are looking up things instead of coming up with things. So even the search engines are feeling it. They say, man, these people ain't thinking for themselves anymore. For a term that they need right now in 2023, they got to refer to something in 2003, because people are not updating and changing the information. People are not trying to come up with anything. And this is not to say that that's the case with everybody, because there's a lot of real, true, authentic, positive stuff going on. But we're obviously being pigeonholed into an otherwise deterministic reality that would make sure we understand that you only got room for the positive now. All the negative is played out. They all know that reality TV is wrestling. And yet retired rapper after retired rapper continues to get a reality TV show. They all know that how many people are going to want to get a business meeting professionally after the game is over if you got a bunch of face tattoos. How are they going to view you? Don't you want to be the MC or the poet who really walks in with the respect of a high-level journalist? Don't you want to be the writer, the poet, the musician who gets the respect of a concierge, of a premier, of a consultant, of a board of directors, of an executor, of a social engineer, of a programmer, of a teacher, of a guide, of a coach, of a mentor? This is the kind of respect we should carry ourselves with in the art form known as hip hop. If we want to get into these meetings, you don't have to dress like where you came from 15 years ago. Your story's been told already. You've been telling it for 6 or 7 albums now. We are ready to see, how do you get into the boardroom and how do you make it work on the business end, since everybody's crying foul? How do you get your money up? Shouldn't you be doing your rap videos dressed like the person who's trying to win in the business meeting versus the person that's still on the block running from the cops? The A&Rs don't know this yet, because this wisdom is hidden from them, because they've seen one way work. But with destruction, you lose customers. It's like selling something that's too pure. A customer that drops dead is not going to come back to you. That's money that you lost overdoing your product. So it's our turn now. And I promise you, this isn't candy. This is medicine.